All right, what's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome to our first episode of Jade Gems. It is my honor and my pleasure to have this very special guest on. He's been a light on my path for me, a big inspiration, the man with many hustles and a kind spirit to match. I would like to introduce the GOAT and one of my really good friends, Peter James. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I know you've been on some big things lately, man, and just want to just let the people know and get some more information for myself, man. I know you're really big into technology, healthy eating, spirituality, being in tune with yourself and the God within. So let's go ahead and get started.
All right.
So just for me, I would like to know what really got you started on this path, like going into technology, eating healthy, like getting your mind right. Like what really got you going?
So when it comes to technology, I just always wanted to learn and know how things work. So when I was younger, instead of just turning the channel, I was fascinated with the remote and how the remote changed the channel. So I remember being young, like looking at the little diode in the remote and seeing when the light goes on and off and being able to manipulate whether or not I'm able to change the channel by putting my finger over the diode. So I figured out that is what controlled the TV.
Yeah.
So one of the earliest things that got me in technology was me being curious and always wanting to ask questions. Another story was my sister got a boombox for Christmas, and I thought it was really cool, but I wanted to see how it worked.
Yeah.
So I took it apart.
Yeah.
And so my sister gets back. She has some tapes and stuff. She gets back, and her boombox is in pieces on the floor. And I'm like, she catches me in my room, like, oh, don't worry, I can fix it. And my dad and my mom come like, look, you better fix this thing because we just paid for it. Long story short, I fixed it. And I've been tinkering with stuff ever since. I think technology, most people don't understand that technology is more than just what you see on a computer. Technology is nothing more than applied knowledge. Okay. So technology could be in health, it could be spirituality, it could be in many different disciplines. And that curiosity is what led me to be more technical in the sense of applications and computers, but also other areas like my health. At one point in time, I was told in order to be healthy, you need to have these type of foods in your body. And throughout my own research, I figured out what foods are healthy to me and scientifically what it means to be healthy, not just what it means to be healthy on paper.
Yeah.
And then how it affects me as a person. So combining my health with knowledge of who I am as a person and how I want to learn the world, it kind of led me into more of a spiritual path as well, to understand how I can utilize these gifts that I was given to foster a financial future and also help communicate with other people that may be on the same path.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So I have a question. So what age were you whenever you took apart this boombox?
I was probably around 8 or 9.
Oh damn.
Yeah, yeah. I was super young.
Yeah.
We didn't have it. I didn't have. My dad and mom would probably buy me a video game.
Yeah.
But I couldn't, play that game unless I had good grades.
For sure.
Or if I was acting up in school.
Yeah.
They weren't gonna let me play the game. So I wasn't acting up in school, but school was boring for me at a point in time.
So you wasn't stimulated by the stuff that was going on. I definitely hear you on that.
Yeah. So, we had times where I think I had to take like a math test and had like 100 questions. I finished it in maybe like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I didn't show my work. I
Yeah.
just did all my math in my head. And I
I
was
can
like a math,
imagine.
my dad, I think my dad was a mathematician
Yeah,
and he taught me math.
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what fostered that in.
Yeah, and they don't like that. So
Nah.
whenever you talk about technology and spirituality and health and getting in tune with your mind, like how do you feel like you can integrate technology with spirituality? Because like some people think it's like spirituality, like you're not supposed to do certain things, and you're supposed to just take it all, go within. Like how do you feel like you can kind of integrate health with technology, with spirituality, with like elevating and progressing throughout life?
Um, I think technology can be expressed through our experiences as humans on this earth. And I think a computer of what we created is a replication of the human mind. And the internet is a replication of how multiple things that are living on this earth communicate through a community. And I think it's no strange assumption that we have the internet and people are connecting to each other a different method.
Yeah.
That's only one way of connecting. You have like touch, you have telepathic connection, you have a lot of ways of communicating. But the easiest way to communicate right now is through the internet.
Yeah, that's true. Real talk, real talk.
You know?
Yeah.
And when it comes to spirituality, you can look at some examples of how you can be on the internet and access different levels. And once you have, the appropriate access, which is, the right credentials,
Yeah.
then you can access different things that other people can't because
Yeah.
they don't have the credentials.
Yeah.
And in spirituality, taking time to understand who you are and what you represent in this world is the first step of gaining those credentials to give you access to other things.
Yeah.
So I think the integration comes with reaching out to people. Like right now, the conversation that we're having, people are able to see both, visually see and hear through a platform that was created by, the internet being in existence as well as applications. So people are now able to communicate over long distances in which that probably wasn't the case, 10, 20 years ago.
Real talk, real
We
talk.
would have to be in person, probably hire a cameraman, get the VHS,
Yeah.
put it,
Yeah,
there was multiple steps. Now it's just an app and a service.
yeah.
So I think the technology has already integrated with spirituality in terms of connecting people and passing information.
Man, that's a dope perspective. I never really thought about it like that. It's like you think about the internet in a way where you can connect with people, but like you don't really like you definitely connect with them spiritually, like the energy exchange and like
Yeah.
this is a spiritual connection through technology. And that's such a it's such a dope like perspective on that. Cause like that's like you think about it, but you don't really think about it like that. So
Yeah.
you about to say something?
Well, I mean, I was going to say a topic. Just people don't really realize that energy is something that it has no distance.
Yeah.
There's no like distance that the energy can't pass to.
Yeah.
So like you ever be somewhere out and you're out somewhere and you get a feeling,
Mm-hmm.
and then that feeling could be translated to someone in your family being hurt or something going wrong in the world.
Yeah.
And then you later see something on the news or one of your family members call you like, man, I had a bad day. Like, man, I felt it,
Yeah, the
you
intuition,
know?
connection, yeah.
And the fact that you and I can be on this platform and I can smile, you know what I'm saying? And then you start smiling, that's the transfer, you know what I'm saying?
Real shit, real
There's
shit.
energy. So I just
Yeah.
want to throw that in there.
That's dope, man. That's really dope. So like just kind of going back to the spiritual side, like I guess when did that journey start for you? Like whenever you came into your awakening, your knowledge of self, and how was that for you?
It started for me. I think I've always been trying to figure out who I am throughout my life. I took it more seriously after I got out of college.
Yeah.
Just to figure out what am I doing? Like, am I doing something that I want to do? Who am I? Like I read a book, Emotional Intelligence,
Yeah.
to help me understand myself in different situations and figure out who I am. And what it was like for me was refreshing to understand myself on a different level and ask myself questions. People think it could be considered crazy to talk to yourself, but
Yeah, everybody
you talk to themselves, whether they like it or not, right?
Yeah.
As long as you probably not just in the mirror all day, probably talking to yourself. But to me, it was more so just getting to know myself,
Yeah.
being more comfortable with who I am, and being able to know where I need to make changes in my life, and not being comfortable with the excuse of why things are the way they are, but looking to foster change.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's helped me do until this day.
I see what you mean. It's like we get on this path, and it's like it takes you on so many different routes. It's like you gotta go and analyze like your parents. You gotta go analyze like the school system, the government, the religion that you were taught, everything that you were conditioned with. And it's like you kind of gotta unlearn everything and relearn a new way of being. It's like you gotta, it's I guess whenever, like what you're saying, it's like whenever you come into this awakening, it's like you don't want to be on autopilot and just wonder why things just don't work for you. It's like to foster change and to cultivate and create it from within. It's like that's beautiful. I definitely feel you on that.
Different, man. Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone has made changes
Yeah.
in their head, but few have taken that thought of change and created it in this reality. And that's what sets people apart from thinking they're great, and both thinking they're great and being great.
Yeah. So how was that shift for you? What are some things that you use to actually, think about these things and to transmute and manifest them into the physical?
For me, it was I would say a cleansing of my circle, my mindset, what I ate, who I spoke to, and also understanding of who I am, and when I'm at my highest, who's around me,
Mm.
and understanding when I'm at my lowest, who's around me.
Yeah, I get you.
If I feel down, or if I feel hurt, am I causing this to myself? Who's making me feel good? Who's not making me feel good?
Yeah.
And then when it comes to making changes, I looked at organization. So, like, when I have a thought, asking myself, what's my personal process to execution? And if it's not a process that clearly shows the results that I'm looking for, writing down the necessary steps to make the changes to make it happen.
Yeah.
And then figuring out, okay, why haven't I made it happen yet if I didn't start? And then working through the process and having checkpoints.
Yeah.
I think for me, at a point in time, I always want to see everybody win.
Mm-hmm.
And the only problem with that for me was I'm trying to bring everybody with me every step of the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not possible.
Yeah.
And to me, right now,
not right now,
because, the platform that I had, the work that I was doing was more of a narrow path.
Yeah.
And not everyone was going to be interested in the steps that I needed to take to get to the vision that I saw.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that everyone wasn't going to enjoy the end result.
Yeah.
So coming to terms with that, being organized and limiting who I talk to as I'm trying to execute these things is what I use to create.
Yeah. Nah, I get you. I get you. And that hits pretty hard because it's like you were saying, with the people that you hang around, are you feeling drained or are you feeling uplifted and like motivated? Like each time we talk, like I feel very motivated and very like I'm ready to get it. I start putting in my personal I start looking at my personal progress to my execution. I start thinking about like, oh, I need to get this done and get this done. And like I think that's something like we definitely need to focus on, like look at the people around us, see how we're feeling within, see like really, really figuring out like who we are, who we want to be, like what we want to do. Like we all here for a purpose.
Exactly.
Like, it's like we're not here just to live, work, get a job, work, pay bills, and then die. Like that's sad as hell. We here to make an impact. We here to uplift society, to raise consciousness, and so that's really dope. That it's really dope, and I'm glad you brought that perspective to the light because that actually hit me. Because it's like you can't bring everybody with you. Everybody don't want to walk the path. I mean, it's like people are stubborn. It's like we fighting years and years and years of conditioning, and so it's like some people just they might not get it right now. They might get it later. They might not get it, but like you said, like they can still enjoy the end result. It's like once we at a level where we want to be at, then people like would be more likely to listen because as we came into our journey, more and more people started hopping on board because even with us, it's like you've been telling us and our Line Brothers about this for years and years and years. And then, it's like, I had to start looking. I'm like, man, Peter is on some stuff, man. Peter doing this. He acting, he playing music instruments, he drawing, he painting, he in technology, he eating healthy, he thinking healthy. I'm like, he's happy. So I'm like, wait, I need to hang around Peter more because this is the path I wanted to be on, and like I've definitely felt that a raise of vibration just being around you, and it's like I know vice versa because we just
Yeah,
bounce this energy off, and it's really amazing to have this connection for real.
I agree, man. And I to the point of trying to bring everybody with you, it's a tough pill to swallow.
It is.
I read this book in which it explained engineers were people selected by the universe, and the progression of an engineer wasn't assessed by how smart that individual engineer was, but how well and smart the village that the engineer supported was.
Mm,
So as I'm going up to different levels, understanding different things, I'm always trying to support my circle,
for sure.
whoever that may be,
For sure.
because that's something that you can't manage the circle, but you can, once the people are in there, you can communicate with them.
For sure.
But if somebody want to leave the village or leave your circle, then that's their choice,
For sure.
and being comfortable with it. I think most people uh, are not the CEOs of their own life, so they don't understand the the art of making decisions
Yeah.
and understanding what's good for you, and understanding like that's your number one priority. As everyone has a number one priority, and that's themselves first.
It's gotta be. Or
Because if you're not here, then you're not. You know what I'm saying? You're
yeah.
not here. Then where are you? Not. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't help someone here if you're not here.
Yeah, you can't help nobody till you help yourself.
Exactly.
I hear you on that.
So just I mean, being able to say, okay, I'm my number one priority, and then after me, I have these priorities that I need to make sure are
Yeah.
in line.
Yeah. And it's like
So
it's crazy because it's like it actually benefits you more when you make you a priority because when you make everybody else a priority, you're that example to everybody else to say, let me find my happiness, let me find my purpose outside of myself. But when you find that happiness and your purpose and your inner peace from within, you emit a different vibration. You emit a different vibration, and people catch on to that, and then they start to search within. Once like they see like, wait, this ain't working, but it seemed like it is working for them. It's like once you go within first, people like outside start to go within, because people are only a mirror. We only get
Yeah.
reflected back the energy that we put out to the universe. So the energy that we give to ourselves, if we neglect ourselves on our diets, neglect ourselves on our goals, neglect ourselves on our happiness, then that's what the universe is gonna do. It's only gonna magnify and emphasize what we already doing. But it's like, whenever we give ourselves that happiness, go out and travel and be happy, just be in the present moment with our breath and enjoying different stuff like this, it's just enjoying the moment, enjoying your circle, enjoying life for what it is instead of for what you want it to be. People see an example and they start to like to change, and giving up that force and like not forcing people to conform to your way is the most way people start to conform. It's like
Yeah.
just drop the gems or plant the seeds, and you be like, all right, I did what I did. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, it start to bloom later on in life. It's pretty crazy.
Exactly. But, I mean, people don't even understand the benefit of that. Like if you look at the fact that you understand that a seed is a seed, and in order to change its state, you need to put it in the right foundation. And
Yeah.
outside of that, the right conditions must be met to get a specific result. Because if you leave a seed in a jar, it won't grow.
Damn, that's deep.
You know what I'm saying?
I hope y'all.
So
Man, that's deep.
yeah, it will not grow. You have to put it in the soil, and you also have to water it.
Oh,
And not only that, you have to know what conditions it needs to be in to grow and yield a certain level of crop.
yeah.
So, just that, even being a plant, it should be no way that if you're trying to get to be successful or be in a certain path, that you don't have a plan
Yeah,
or don't know yourself, so you won't understand the path you really need to be on.
for sure. Man, that's I like that. If you don't
For
put,
sure.
if you keep a plant in a jar, it can't grow. I like that because it's got to be in a right foundation, surrounded by the right environment. You got to
Exactly.
cultivate that. You got to water, sunlight, for sure.
Exactly.
So I got another question. So what are some things you practice daily? Eating habits, any meditation, yoga, like writing, or anything that you do daily to help you to be in tune, to help you to cultivate that environment and give yourself that surrounding that you need.
I would say on a daily, I make sure I eat a plant-based diet. Um, I take good minerals, whether that's sea moss, um, different uh, minerals that are good for my body on a daily basis. Um, I meditate, in the mornings usually, work out, give myself at least 30 minutes a day just to, get the blood working and things of that nature. And, tell myself, my affirmations to, whether that's, financial related, success related, positivity, a clear mind, whatever I want to foster in, I make sure that's what I concentrate on. And, it's helped me thus far. And just stay organized, stay, whether, when I say organized, you don't have to have hour by hour breakdown, but, you know, I'm goal oriented and I program. So the main goals of what I want to complete, and there may be like some tasks that I need to do for each goal. And I break it down so where I understand where I'm at based on the task that I've completed. So
Uh,
that's kind of what I do on a day in and day out
okay, yeah.
type
So
of thing.
organization is really big to you. Like organization first in your mind. Like what I got from
Yeah.
what you said is just meditating and everything helps you to organize your mind, organize your thoughts, and then your affirmations kind of structure everything, like give you a framework of what to walk through. And it's like whenever you go into your goals, by that time you ready to hit the ground running. You
Exactly.
organize, you got your goals, and you got your things you want to accomplish, and so you already took the prerequisite steps to cultivate your energy and your mind to be able to allow yourself to even attempt those and to go in and thrive through those.
Yeah, that's exactly, man.
I get you. I'd like to just break it down a little bit for myself. Like repeating it kind of helps me to understand it a little bit more because, like, yeah, for sure. And so I know you're saying you program and you code. So are like I know you're working on vegan munchies
Yes.
and I know you have a few projects in the work. So you want to talk a little bit more about what you got going to integrate technology with health and with spirituality and upliftment.
Definitely. So, Vegan Munchies was created. Me and my fiance, we created Vegan Munchies to kind of move things forward. We travel a lot for the business that we do and things of that nature. And as we travel, we don't see any plant-based options in either like gas stations or majority of hotels that we stay at. And if we do, it's a lot of stuff that we probably wouldn't even eat.
Yeah.
Whether it's like conventional food or, um, you know, different types of greens that aren't on my chart, that I would eat.
Yeah.
So, and then, we saw, well, I think one thing that was the tipping point, we went to a hotel and they had complimentary breakfast that was part of what you paid for, I would say. It was part of the service that the hotel provided.
For sure.
And they had no options for us. So we started to cook and try to create products. So we're coming out with a product, plant-based biscuits, which will definitely be in stores this year, 2019. I'm going out and putting it in the atmosphere. And you can follow us on Instagram at Vegan Munchies Club. So what we're trying to do is create plant-based pre-made meals and have it relatively available for everyone. So you'll be able to pick it up from the store, warm it up at the house. So that way, if it's something you want to try, you're able to do so. And we'll kind of break that out to different phases of how the public is able to access that. Other projects, doing more research papers with Amara Security. So we focus on medical device security. Is the first research paper that we published. And that was a really big hit. And what we're doing now is focusing on cloud security for healthcare organizations and standards that should be implemented to help protect their patient data in the cloud. So we want to help healthcare organizations successfully migrate their workloads to the cloud. Basically, if you have an application in a big data center, we want to help you securely have that same operation in a public serving cloud like Azure or AWS. So those are the main projects that I'm working on. And we're doing a side project where we're fostering in a new way that people control the data that is associated with them.
Okay.
So right now, if you go to, you wear have you ever worn glasses before?
Nah, but my parents do. So
okay. So one of the things that troubled me was when I go to a doctor office, a new doctor office, optometrist, and I want to keep my same prescription, I have to contact my previous optometrist to get them to fax me my subscription. They can't send it to me via email.
Yeah.
Or they have to send it directly to the new optometrist.
Okay, so like they got their own ecosystem that they use to communicate and transmit the information.
Yeah, but they transmitting your information, my information.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't have access to it, and it's about me.
It's crazy. It's like you should always have access to yourself. I get you.
So I'm looking at ways to change that, and where if I want to share my data to another third party vendor, I have the ability to do that
Yeah.
under my own control.
Yeah, you shouldn't need to contact a doctor to be like, hey, send this to there. You should be able to, hey,
Yeah,
send what you got to send.
exactly.
So,
So that's what we're working on. It's called Keeps.
keeps.
Yeah. So it's like you're keeping what is yours.
Ah, okay. All right. So, like, I guess, like, how are you planning on doing that? I mean, if you can talk about it right now, if you can.
What I can say is that we're creating an ecosystem in which data is able to be shared with the control of the owner.
I know exactly where you're going with that.
Yeah. So when it's more in a beta version, then I could talk about it more. But right now, I'm under strict NDA.
Gotcha. All right. That's what's up, man. That's inspiring. That's some dope stuff that you're working on right now. Definitely best to look. And I know you go manifested to the point
Definitely.
because that's just who you are.
Well, always, man. Definitely gotta keep each other accountable, and make sure what we saying is what we doing.
Yeah, real talk. So I got another question, and this question is big to me. I love these type of questions. And it's like I feel like this is like the foundation of everything, you know.
Okay.
So for you, what is
Yeah.
God? Like, what is your soul? Like, what is God to you?
Um. The way that I can express it right now,
In simplest terms, you know, for you.
yeah, the way that I can express it right now is my experience. You know, because if you look at different texts, people are saying, there's different texts that suggest that God is in everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And we are gods, And if you look at things from that perspective, then everything that you're doing
It's God.
is God.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look for answers to yourself or about yourself, you're asking yourself.
Yeah.
And if everything from coming from the perspective that everything, everyone has God in them, and you're asking yourself questions with that perspective, then you're doing godly things.
Yeah.
But I think there's a universal truth. It's like something that's common for everything. Whether that's nature, how things come to life in nature, how things come to life in different areas. In simplest terms, I just rambled a little bit, but in simpler terms, I would say nature, supreme intelligence, something that we can't even, there's no words to describe.
Yeah.
But it's more of a feeling than it is a description to me.
Yeah, I get you. Like an
You know?
energy.
Yeah, it's more of an energy because you ever see like a baby, they're very young when they come into this world, like they've just been born,
Mm-hmm.
but yet they still know how to cry. They still know how to, dispose of waste. They know how to laugh.
Yeah.
And that's the intelligence. They looking at you thinking, you don't know what they thinking about or how they communicating until you put another baby by another baby. And it's a type of different connection.
Yeah.
So they come into this world knowing everything, and they learn what this world wants them to know.
That's true. Yeah, babies do come in here. That's the purest, the closest thing to God you can get.
Exactly.
For sure.
So, and if you can see, notice everything. Everyone holds that precious.
Yeah.
Okay, through the animal kingdom,
The babies, even like other species, recognize babies from other species and be more gentle and kind with them, like
Exactly.
lions and human babies. Like,
Yeah.
some are ruthless and reckless just because of like nature's off balance right now. But
Yeah.
it's like you can, like, I've seen videos and like where it's like they'll chill and then they'll like cater to them and like that's yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's an energy. Like, if you feel it, you feel it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then you don't, you know? Because so I've been working on trying to express that more verbally. Right now, I think it's more of an energy, that needs to be felt.
Yeah. A
So
connection, the connection
yeah,
between different souls, for sure. No, I definitely get you. I get you.
yeah, that's what I think. So
That's one of my favorite life questions to ask anybody. Like,
no, I definitely understand it, man. It's a good question to ask, and I think every time I'm asked that, I have a different
yeah, because
answer.
God is always changing, is always evolving, and,
Yeah,
and it's like you can tell, like, whenever people how they feel about God is how they feel about themselves. It's like, and then how they treat others. Like if people think God is jealous, vindictive, and is out to get you, it's like they'll send you to hell because you don't follow its rules. You go treat other people that way. You go
mm,
be vindictive. You go, if somebody doesn't do what you say, you go treat them way off. You ain't gonna, it's like you're not gonna have no compassion and love for them. But when you have, but like you were saying, like when it's an energy source and we all connected to nature, you just start to treat yourself. You treat yourself different first. You treat yourself different, and then like that stems out to others. You're able to love people and be more compassionate. And it's not always perfect because we still fight no conditioning, but you at least have the mindset to love people and to let people into your spirit and let people into your heart. And so I definitely like that. I definitely like that.
appreciate it, man.
So I got a couple more questions, and
Okay.
if you wanna go into more depth about anything else you're working on, anything on your mind you want to share with the people, with me. But top three books. What are the top three books that you would recommend anybody to read?
The DNA field of law and residency, um, hacking matter, and Pata technology.
What was the last one?
Pata technology.
Pata. Oh, like, oh yeah, Pata. That's what you got. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Got you.
yeah. So those are the three books that I would read. It's pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Each of those books.
What was the first one? It was the DNA. What?
The DNA field of law and residency. That's a real good one. Um, and then the second one was hacking matter.
Yeah, I'm
That's
writing
real
them
good.
down. I'm writing them down because I'm gonna
Yeah,
ask
you got to, man. Those are some good books. And then the last one was Pata technology.
for sure, and I'll link them. I'll put them in the description and everything.
Okay. And I want to add one more though. The Supermind by Barbara Brown.
The Supermodel.
That's, yeah, that's a real good one.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
because I mean that's pretty much what you like, bro. You literally got a super mind. Like it's really crazy. Like to hear you talk about this stuff. It's like I didn't learn a whole bunch more about you, and it's like I'm grateful for this. Like we got into some more in depth conversation today, more than what we
Yeah.
usually do. I like that. That was this was
Yeah. It was dope, man. I really like it.
yeah, man. So anything else on your mind that you wanna, any last words, anything you wanna get out to the people or to me, to yourself?
I am working humanapps.me.
Human app.
So that's a learning page, online course that helps you stop procrastinating when it comes to working out.
Yeah.
So that's one way that I've taken technology and helping to work with people to address a goal. So a lot of people, every year, in January or December, you hear people say, "Oh, New Year, new me."
Yeah.
Uh, January, that's when they get all the subscriptions for working out, all this other stuff, and then maybe February, everybody drop and go back into their old habits.
Yeah.
So what humanapps.me is basically is taking the concept of how to build an application for like a computer, right? So what we on right now, we're on Zoom. How do we build a Zoom application? And what's an application? Application is nothing more than just statements
Yeah.
that complete a certain task. So when I broke down the logistics of procrastination and how it relates directly to working out, I created a course to help people understand why they're procrastinating, develop a plan to address the reasons that's making them procrastinate,
Yeah.
and monitor themselves for any deviation from executing their goal of working out
Yeah.
and not procrastinate.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely want to check that out.
So that's why it's a human application, because it's like you download that. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
for sure, for sure. That's
Yeah,
definitely, people definitely need that, something to hold themselves accountable instead of like looking for somebody else to do it. Like somebody else
exactly.
to make sure that they go work out and stuff. So, but
Yeah. So I think that's the one I was working on, and just telling people that you have the power to change.
for sure.
And I think a lot of misconceptions is a lot of people look at their place, and I think that's the end of their story.
Yeah.
And some of them haven't even started writing their story yet.
Yeah. You gotta write your own story.
They just living in somebody else's book.
Yeah, man.
So
That's real.
for me, I just always felt passionate and writing my own story, understanding who I am, and being comfortable to speak to somebody and express that in whatever form I need to. So those are some last words and things of that I'm working on right now to
Real,
kind of foster in some things.
real talk, real talk. So let everybody know where they can follow you at on Instagram, Twitter.
All right. Instagram, we have Vegan Munchies Club. Twitter, Peter_R_J. That's my personal account for Twitter and Instagram. Also have Almond Raw Security on Twitter and Instagram, all one word. So that's where they can follow me. And be on the lookout for the products that we're dropping this year. So we'll post more details on that on our Vegan Munchies page. Please check that out. And then also the humanapps.me is where you can see some of these online courses. Download, take them. Really appreciate your feedback. And really thank you for having me as your first guest, man. I feel honored, honestly, to be able to talk and communicate on this level.
Appreciate you, man. I really appreciate it. I learned a lot. I hope everybody else got something from this. And so this is perfect, man. Thank you for coming on.
No problem, man. Peace and light.
Yeah.